urban style individual.
What's up with y'all? Hopefully this video finds you in good spirits, and if not, well, at least you not DSP. And I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Initially, I didn't plan on recording this, but then I watched it again and I thought to myself, there's a certain piece of Asmongold that is feigning ignorance here. There's a certain part of him that's playing coy. And it's almost as if he's playing in our face a little bit, so to speak. So let's get into it.
Like I did. Oh my god. There was like a whole Twitter thing about this. Holy shit. DSP won. Asmon holding the Big L and successfully pignatized. Big ups for DSP for actually successfully robbing Mr. Gold. Man, I was wrong. This shit is god awful. Oh, wow. Pretty much this Asmon was controlled for a good portion, but got pignatized at the end. I love how the idea of pignatized is that I wasn't being mean to him.
See, and this is the part that I have a little bit of an issue with, because nobody was telling him that you had to be mean to him. If that's not how you are, that's fine. But when you look at law enforcement and detectives in particular, when they're conducting investigations, oftentimes they're not mean to the suspect. It's on the contrary. They act like they're that person's friend. They'll go get him something to eat. They'll get him a pack of cigarettes, get him a hoodie or something so they can stay warm in those cold interrogation rooms, because they know that you get a lot further with sugar than you do with salt. But they're also informed. And that's the issue that most of us have with you, is that you went into this situation completely uninformed, even though you were acting as if you were trying to be informed when you asked Reddit, what questions did they want you to ask him? I don't understand why you acting confused right now.
Yeah, I was just having a conversation. If anybody expects me to go on, like again, it's just not in my nature to be aggressive and hostile. It's just not. Like, I don't treat people that way. I just don't. Like, it's just, you're never going to get that out of me. It's just not the way I behave.
If you soft, just say that. All right. And the reason I'm saying that is because what he's saying isn't true. You can go on his channel right now, and there's a bevy of videos of him talking about girls on the internet and what people call e-thoughts or whatever. Him going in on them, talking about what they deserve. They're finally getting their just due. But when it comes to DSP, oh, you know, it's just not my nature. But you'll go off on females though.
Yeah, why be mean? Why would I be rude to a guy? Yeah, the guy's coming on my stream. He's a much smaller streamer. I'd be an asshole if I was really mean to him. Yeah, like what the fuck? Of course I'm not gonna do that.
And again, nobody was asking you to do that. What people were asking was for you to dress the part, right? When you go to war, you wear fatigues. When you go to bed, you wear pajamas. You dress for the occasion. That's it.
Of course I'm not going to. Yeah, absolutely not. It was boring to see, though. I know everybody wanted me to be mean to him and everything like that. But as I said, I try to be nice to everybody. I do. And I know this might be upsetting, but yeah, there it is. Phil Asmongold is funnier than expected. This is the first thing Phil does on Asmon's stream, is lie about why Twitch unpartnered him. Asmon is switched off. Only Phil could get a big guest on his podcast and not let him speak. Oh, right. And Phil now claims he spent between $15,000 and $25,000 on WWE champions, but definitely not over $30,000. Well, yeah, that would be right. I mean,
that would be right according to Phil. But had you used your brain even a little bit, you would think to yourself how that doesn't make sense. He told you when the game came out. The game came out over 10 years ago. You think you've been playing it for over a decade and only spent $30,000 on it, and that's the reason why he was claiming he was destitute? No, this man was spending pretty much everything he was getting day to day on that game. He is an addict and he's still doing it. So what you did is essentially rolled up to his house and laid a bunch of powder on the table in front of him. Now, what do you think he's going to do once you leave? I mean, come on, man. This is not that hard to figure out.
Accurate. As we're giving shout outs to DSP's Trolls channel today, while looking up DSP on YouTube, it's just memeology. Yep, exactly. And Asmongold was to probably start losing viewers if DSP keeps talking. Oh my god. 30-minute pig-splaining? Pig-splaining? They have their own vocabulary. Session on how DSP managed to get Asmongold on his stream.
I think it's funny how he tries to make it seem as if that's a funny or a corny thing that communities have their own language. And that's not something that's specific to the detractor community. That's something that persists in all communities. They all have their own slang or colloquialism. So I'm not sure what he's getting at. Oh, they have their own language. Yes. And I guarantee you in your group of friends right now, for the people that are falling under the sound of my voice, there's different words and different body language and different hand signals that you can give somebody that y'all understand, but the people outside of your friend group don't understand. And it's been that way since y'all were kids. So what is he getting at? Does he not have friends? I don't know. I'm just saying.
Oh wow! I don't care that other people don't like me. Then also made the podcast. Yeah, right. And oh my god, DSP that's called Asmongold gaming soulmate. Well, yeah, I mean obviously like he and I see. I mean like most people that play video games think the same thing that we do. Like it's not really that crazy. Yeah, DSP doesn't know Asmongold's live feed on a stream. It's just staring off there. It's so shitty. That's my fault. It's because I didn't have my video turned on. And there it is. It would be great to hear more of this whenever you used to host. Let me see here. Asmongold is totally gaslighting DSP, and I'm loving it. This is a different level of fuckery from Skyd Scorers or the interview with Kino. DSP.
Yes, because you can tell when the side scrollers and the Kino Casino was dealing with Phil, they were informed. So that is why the pignosis was not, it couldn't work on them because they knew too much already. This is why what you did didn't make any sense. You're trying to claim that it was a conversation, but in my opinion, the second you went on Reddit and was asking people what you should ask him, it turned into an interview. Because logically speaking, who do you think is going to be on that subreddit sending you questions, dude? Do you think it was just random people who don't care about Phil? Like, let's be real about it, man. Come on.
Says he hates drama. Asmongold asked DSP what he thinks of Asmongold's content. DSP, I don't watch your content. DSP moves on very quickly. Oh boy. Wow. How is the interview going? It got Phil a bunch of money and an offer to be sponsored. He got so bored that he brought out some titties to keep the audience awake. That wasn't why I did it, okay? That was not why I did it. I did it because of the context of the conversation.
This is proof, and I'm not trying to go in on him. I'm not. I'm just going off what I see. But this is proof that money cannot unlame you. Either you lame or you're not. It just is what it is. Like, why do you even have something like that on your computer to begin with? Don't you make hundreds of thousands of dollars, bro? Like what is going on, man?
This was not it. People hate babies. I think it's funny. I do. And it was first half was good. Second half was being pignatized because he can't call out DSP for being the fakest person ever. Well, if somebody's going to lie to me, then they're going to lie to me. Like, I can't tell the truth, right? I mean, who knows?
You know how you get around somebody lying to you? It's by being informed. So when they speak, you'll know that they're lying. It's not that deep. And I'll go back again to my law enforcement example. A lot of the times, those detectives do have pieces to the puzzle or pieces to the pie, and they'll ask you questions about things they already know to give them some insight into the things that they do not know. But you can only do that if you're informed. What you did was scratch the surface, and I'm talking about barely scratch the surface. But when you look at his content, a lot of times that's what he's doing. He's just scrolling Twitter or YouTube or whatever social media site, and somebody in his chat tells him to look at something and he gives an opinion on it. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but he treated DSP the way he treats every other piece of content. And I think that is where the mistake was made. Because if you're going to engage with DSP, you have to understand there's going to be a lot of lying, a lot of gaslighting, a lot of obfuscating, and him going all over the world, telling you long, drawn out stories about stuff that really don't pertain to what you're asking him. Seldom is he just going to give you a yes or no answer. It always has to come with some crazy backstory. But if you were informed, you can pull him back to the point. But because you were not informed, he took you by the hand and he walked you all over the world.
Yeah, so it is funny for me to see this. Pushing DSP hard, how much you spent? I did. And more hype for this than Doomsday. Oh my fucking God. There are so... Look at all the people talking about this. Holy shit. Look. How did this happen?
This is what I mean when I say he's feigning ignorance. Because when you look at the numbers on the videos that he posted with DSP, they did really well, right? His interview with DSP did really well, right? So naturally, people's response to the interview would do numbers as well. This is why him being surprised about all these people talking about it makes absolutely no sense, especially considering who he is.
It wasn't that big of a deal. Yeah, we got roachetized? I guess so. Yeah, I didn't even know what that was.
That's you throwing the biggest softball on earth to somebody with the biggest wiffle ball bat and him completely knocking it out of the park. Now, when he comes up and have another at bat, naturally he's going to swing out because he actually doesn't know how to swing. His mechanics are terrible. But every now and then people get lucky, you know, especially when it comes to something like that. Even though I know for my baseball heads out there, hitting a baseball is the hardest thing in sports. I know, I get it. I respect it. I played baseball too. I get it. I know, right? But just for this example.
Opening mock to Asmongold, yeah, that's what it is. And you could say a person's lying by looking at him. Was that applied yesterday? No, because I wasn't really looking at him. And also, I accused of doing a certain specific thing. I don't know what the specific thing was exactly. So I don't know. Why are people judging an adult for how he spends his money? Please explain. Well, I think that you can judge anybody for anything if you want to, right?
Sure. But that's definitely an overgeneralization of the situation. Of course, you can look at anybody, and if you look hard enough, you can find something where you can say, well, what about that? Or what about that? Or what about that? But right now, the current subject matter is darksydephil. And you had a whole week or 2 weeks or whatever it was where you didn't even have to do the damn research. I'm sure you got people on your team who could have did the research, but you just didn't care enough. And if that's the case, that's fine. But my issue again goes back to the whole Reddit post. Had you not done that, my expectations would have been a lot different.
I think that's fine. Minx saying it's some OTK insider thing. Oh, is there some more drama? Like, isn't it great that now I'll be able to farm it if there's some drama? Thank God. Thank God that finally now I'll be able to farm the drama myself.
No, this is just him trying to be funny. And I think even if it was me, let's say somebody said, hey, bro, we want you to interview Asmongold. The first thing I'm going to do is go over to his channel and watch a good 7 to 10 videos. And I'm going to try to get some from different time periods that contain different subject matter so I can get a holistic approach to him. So when it's time for me to give an appraisal, I'll feel comfortable with doing it. It doesn't make sense to come into a situation completely unprepared. And then on the back end, when people are like, wow, that was terrible. You're like, oh, well, I don't know what you expected from me. We expect you to be prepared. That's it. Nobody's telling you to be mean and rip his head off. That's the position that you're taking because it's convenient for you right now. But I think deep down, you gave the wrong guy a layup. Straight up. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Urban style content. I'm dead.